Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. So today we're here to tell you about the recent changes with our new experience. Shippo got an update and we want to tell you all about it. Today we have myself, Alex, and Amanda here to help you with all of your shipping needs. So let's hear a little bit from your host. I'll go first. My name is Stephanie and I've been with Shippo for about 5 months now as a partner and implementation success manager. I help support our existing partners and help new clients get set up using Shippo. Alex, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Alex. I've been with Shippo for about 7 months now as a customer success manager. I work with a lot of our high growth clients and our enterprise customers, but also work with some of our SMB customers as well. Amanda, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Yeah, I am Amanda. I'm the product support manager here at Shippo. I've been with Shippo almost 5 years and help run the day-to-day operations of our support team. So if you've ever emailed into us before, there's a really good chance that we have talked.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. So today we're going to give you a demo on some of the changes that have happened. We'll show you the flow on how to use the new experience. The good news is that we really only changed one section of the app, the orders page. So we're going to go over creating an order, batch labels, our international label creation, splitting orders, return labels, and automations. If you haven't seen it already, we added a couple of new changes since our launch, and we added the ability to add nicknames to the carrier's accounts, as well as new customs features. All right, let's get going. So the first thing, Alex, would you actually show us how to get started and make sure we're set up to use this new feature?
Yeah, definitely. Once you stop sharing, I will jump right into it. Okay. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So here's the new orders page. And as Stephanie mentioned, pretty much all of the changes lie within this orders page. But what I want to do first is help get us set up just so we can start shipping. So in order to do that, I'm going to hop over here to the left and click on our settings section, which is where you can see pretty much all the different little sections that you'll need to get set up. So let's start with our account. Pretty basic and straightforward, but just shows us the general settings, our plan that we're on. I'm on the pay-as-you-go plan. Billing, which has our credit card in there. You have to have your credit card entered to start purchasing labels. And then also your profile, which is where you just set up, like we said, all the general information, password, name, and email address. And then from there, the next thing we want to do is get set up with our carriers, because in order to purchase labels, we're going to have some carriers set up. So as you can see here on the right, all the ones that Shippo offers, we have negotiated rates with USPS. We have savings that we offer through UPS and DHL Express. And then also, if you scroll down, you can see just different carriers that we are integrated with. So to get set up on that, is all you have to do is toggle on which carriers you're most interested in using. So I'm going to use the Shippo account for USPS because most of my packages go through USPS anyway, but I'm also going to turn on UPS just in case there happens to be a quicker or better rate. And then if you have a carrier account that's just specific to what you use that you don't see here or that we don't offer rates with, you click right here on the top right corner, connect carrier accounts. And as you can see, we have FedEx, more UPS, Axle Hire, LSO, all different ones. And this is where the newest feature comes into play of the account nicknames. So you can have multiple accounts uploaded to your Shippo account. And in order to differentiate between them, we added this account nickname section right here. So you can put in FedEx account 1 and then FedEx account 2, whatever helps you keep everything organized for shipping. So again, I am just going to stick with the Shippo provided accounts with UPS and USPS. The next thing we can do to help make shipping a little bit easier while we're getting set up is by adding default address. So you can add in here default sender addresses, default return addresses, and you can switch between them. So right now we have our Shippo one set up. So I'm going to keep it there. But if you wanted to add a new one, again, you'd click up here on the right corner, add new address, and put all of your information in there. The next place that we can go to get things set up and make shipping quicker is our label section, where you can do default label and packing slip formats. So if you click on here, you can see that we offer all different types. We have thermal label printers, all different sizes, PDFs. I am going to click on the 8.5 by 11 PDF, just standard printer size, as my default. And I'm going to use that for my default packing slip as well. And then you can also choose a default service level and a default return label. So as you can see, we have all of the different carriers. So I'm going to stick with USPS, and then you can choose your default service level as well. And you can do the same for the outbound labels for return labels. And you also have the option for return labels to auto create return labels for outbound shipments. And what that means is if you click on this little box, every time you create a label, it'll automatically create the return label for you. You don't get necessarily charged for it until it's scanned, but it will still create it for you. And then the next default or template that we can set up as packages. So you can set default weights, default distances, and then right down here, you can create default templates of package size you use most often. So here I already have a couple of ones in there. I have my square box, which is a little bit bigger, which supports my 2-pound and heavier shipments, and then a coffee mug box that supports a 1-pound shipment. And finally, one of the easiest ways to get everything set up, and one of the most important ones if you are using an e-commerce store, is connecting your store. So you simply go over here to the left, you click on stores, and you can see the most popular ones that we have able to connect. And then you can also click right down here to see more additional platforms, and you can see how many different ones we offer. I am going to set up my Shopify account today. So simply click on Shopify, put in your Shopify URL, connect. And as we wait for it to connect, it'll take us back to our orders page, that page that we were first on when you logged into your dash. And you can see that all of your Shopify orders are now in your orders page on the Shippo dash. A way that you can decide or tell between the difference between Shopify orders that come in or orders that are manually created is by the little icon next to the order number. So a Shopify order will have a little Shopify shopping bag next to it. So that's a great way to be able to tell that your store has integrated properly. And if you want to just confirm that you have all the latest orders pushing to your Shippo dash, all you have to do is click on sync orders. And we can tell that it's synced our newest orders with our little Shopify shopping bags. All right. Is there anything that we want to add about setup?
No, I think you hit on everything pretty well. Just really quick, one of the most frequently asked questions that we get is around package templates. Since you just hit on that, I just wanted to let everyone know that there is not a way to reorder them right now. So what we typically recommend for those is to enter them in the order of least used to most used. So you want to enter the one that you use the most last. That way it pops up in your drop down, which Alex will show you in just a bit first. And then you don't need to reorder them. So we are working on a function to be able to reorder them in the future. It's just not live yet. But that's just one little trick you can do to make them populate in the order that you would like to see them.
Awesome. All right, Steph, I'm going to stop sharing now so you can hop back on.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda, for those tricks, and Alex for showing us how to do that. I think next that we really want to know is now that we have everything set up, we want to know just how we can create a label and where we can get started. And I know one of our main focuses for our new experience was just to make it so much easier for everyone just to create a basic order. And we tried to reduce the number of steps that was used to be needed to create a label, and now it's a much easier. It's on the same page. And so, Alex, you want to show us how to do that?
Yes, I do. One moment here. All right. Okay. So if everyone can see my screen, we'll just jump right into it. So right now we are on our orders page, which will be your default page that you come into as soon as you log into your Shippo account. As we talked about a little bit before, this is where you can see the orders that have been pushed in from your connected store, or then orders that have already been living on your orders page that were created in Shippo. And from here, you can filter your orders between unfulfilled and fulfilled, or with these additional filters that we offer: date, destination, weight, shops, or customer shipping method. So jumping right in to one of the new features is manually creating a label on the orders page. So to do that, you would just click up here on the right on create label, and it will take you to your manual label creation page where you can enter the sender address and the recipient address. As you can see, my sender address is already in there because I was able to set up my sender address through my settings page under one of those defaults. So now I'm going to enter my recipient, and I am going to ship some stuff to Stephanie.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes, of course. Save and continue after you fill in all of the information that is necessary. And it will take you here to the order details page. So you can work on order details directly in this page. And it will show you, one of the nice things is that Shippo will show you what's definitely needed in order to create this label by putting these little red flags there. So just working our way down the page of manual order creation is we can add items to this order. It's not necessary unless you are shipping internationally, but it's also just a nice touch to keep everything organized. So we are going to send Stephanie a coffee mug. It weighs a pound, of course. $10 is the value of it. It is coming from the United States. And here you have the option to enter a SKU number if that's what you have for your store, but we're not going to put that in there. And then I'm also just going to note that I'm only sending her one of these coffee mugs. So moving down, we can go to the packages. So right now I have the square box set up as my template. As Amanda mentioned, it does not go in order. So it automatically defaults to the first one you put in. So that happened to be my square box, but I'm actually going to change that because since I'm just shipping her a coffee mug, I want to use my other template and do my coffee mug box. But you also have the option to do custom dimensions if it's just a one-off package and you don't want to use your default boxes, or you can go down to carrier provided parcels and you can see all the different ones that UPS offers. If you go down a little bit more, there's different ones that USPS offers. So you could click through that and it will automatically generate the rates over here on the right. But I am going to still use my coffee mug box, confirm that it's 1 pound still, save. And you can see here on the right that as we go through this order creation and label creation, it's always generating the different rates for you and checking if anything's different and what kind of rate the system can offer. So we go down here, we have our shipment options. These are just little add-ons that you can do for each package and you can do them as you need them. So we have the shipment date, you can add a signature confirmation, you can add shipment insurance, you can create a return label here. And that's if you don't do the automatic return labels, here's a good place that you can create them, or you can let the carrier know that the shipment contains alcohol. And then right down here at the bottom, you can just confirm the recipient address. It's going to be Stephanie on 450 Mission Street, and it's coming from 731 Market Street. So now that we have all of our information input, we can go about choosing our rates. So we have the fastest option here from UPS, which is $50, or then we have the cheapest option from USPS. So I am definitely going to go with the cheapest option. And then from there, you can either purchase the label right here at the top on this page, Or if you're not quite ready to purchase, it will save all of the information that you input and you can just simply click back to orders. And then as you can tell, here is that new order that we just created. We have our selected rate, we have the package info, the items, the customer, and then here is where you can see the manual label creation icon. It's a little green hippo here on the left side. The next way that we can create a label through this manual label creation is we go again up here to the right, create label. It'll take us back to this orders page where you put in the sender and recipient addresses. So I already have mine in there. I'm going to send some more stuff to Stephanie, and you can press save and continue. And it'll take you back to this order details page. But if you're not quite ready to get everything filled in here, you can go back to the orders page and you can directly create the package info right here on the orders page. So we'll start here with add a package. And again, it's coffee mug. So I'm going to use my coffee mug box, confirm that it's 1 pound, press save. And then as you can see, it's generating the rates right here on this orders page. So then we have the same option that we did on the orders details page, where you can scroll through and see what are the different rates being offered. And one of the newest additions of the new UI from our first launch is that we actually added a scroll bar here. So instead of having to scroll up and down the page to see the different rates generated, you can just look at it right here in the scroll bar and you won't ever lose your place. So again, we have her address in there. We got our cheapest rates. We have our package info. And then if you don't have to, like we said, only for international orders, you have to have items there. So if you don't need your items, you're all set to go right here on this page. Or if you do want to add items, you simply just click back into it and press add item to order. We will just do our coffee mug again. 1 pound, $10, still coming from the United States. Add. And then you'll see that items go in there, and then you will also see the items translated back to the orders page. All right.
Really quick, Alex, while you're getting ready to show the next piece, I wanted to hop in and just mention that the rates need to be refreshed every 7 days. So if you ever come into your account and you see a no rates message under the rates box right there, all you'll need to do is go in and make a quick change, like just resaving the package template, and it will regenerate those rates for you. Something else that we are working on that's going to be released very soon, hopefully this week, is a refresh rates button. So you will no longer see the no rates wording under the rates section. There will just be a link to refresh the rates, which will make it much easier for all of our customers.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. All right. So now that we've made our way through manually creating orders with this create label button, where we can get our rates and our package info either directly on the orders page or by clicking onto the order and going through the orders details, I want to just touch on how to get your orders set up for label purchase when they're being pushed in from Shopify. So as you can tell, these are the orders that have come in from Shopify. They've got the Shopify bag next to them. So you can edit these orders directly on the orders page, and you can go through simply, same as the manual creation, click on package info and update your package info. So I am going to just change this one to the coffee mug box just for posterity. And you can see that it's directly regenerating the label prices right here on the page. So we still have the option to click down and look at all the label rates that were returned to us just by simply changing the package info. So here we can check it out. I think that I want Stephanie to get this really, really quickly. So I'm just going to click the UPS next day air early. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but we can still do it. And so you can change that right in there. You also have the ability to click on it and change it in the orders details page. And that's helpful if you need to add any of these add-ons, which you can still do if pushing in the order from Shopify. Change your packaging, change your rates, and you can also add different items into the order. And then you can also double check your recipient address and your sender address. So we'll go back to the orders page and we can just update another Shopify order as another example. So we'll click on the square box. Let's do a carrier provided box. So we will do the irregular parcel from USPS, save, and we can see that these rates are generating right there. And then it gives us the cheapest and fastest USPS rate that goes with the irregular parcel packaging that is provided by them. All right, I think that covers the order creation. So I will give you the screen back, Stephanie, and we'll move on to the next section.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so that was a lot, but Alex, thank you so much for walking us through all that. I did want to know a little bit more about if we want to create multiple labels and what that's going to look like. And I do believe we can create up to, I think it's 100 labels at a time with this, the batch label. Can you show us how that works?
Yeah, definitely. All right. So now that we're back on our order screen and you have the option, like Stephanie said, to buy one label at a time just by clicking on here where you can buy them, you can look at other rates. But what we want to do, especially with the holiday season coming up, is we want to batch our orders together and purchase labels just all at one time and make it super, super quick. So the best way to do that is by just simply clicking here on the left side and choosing the orders that you want to batch together. So I think today I'm going to do all of my USPS ones that are up here at the top and just get these ones purchased and ready to go. So once you click on all of them, you have the ability to either edit all 5 orders. And for the editing, you would be able to edit the packaging that they're in. And you can apply the same exact packaging to every single order. As you can tell right now, we have them all in different ones, but for example, we'll edit this and let's just put them all into the coffee mug box so we can see that change happening directly on the page. So we've changed our package info. We are getting new rates and it's just automatically defaulting us to the USPS cheapest option. And from there, if everything looks good, we've got our addresses in there. We've got our items, we've got the correct packaging, and I'm very happy with the rates that it returned. So you can click purchase 5 labels. It'll give you the cost for all 5 labels, and we'll just go ahead and purchase. All right, and we can see that all of those labels were purchased successfully because they have now turned blue and are ready for download. So I want to show an example again of batch labels when maybe you don't necessarily have all of the information ready to go. So let's just create a manual order quickly here. Go Stephanie, save and continue. And we're just going to go back to orders page. We'll create one more so we can show how to batch them together. Another package for Stephanie.
Thank you, Alex. I can't wait.
And we'll go back.
My feelings are starting to get hurt, Alex.
I know. I say eventually I'll start sending you stuff, Amanda. So for this one, we're going to put these together. Okay, I just added these. Fantastic. Let's batch these together. And you can see here that when we click on them, Shippo's system will let you know that you are not ready to purchase the labels yet, because you will see that the purchase label option is grayed out, which alerts you to the fact that there is some missing information that's needed. So we can go in and edit the orders, and we'll just, if we want to apply the same packaging, we'll go here, save. And then as you can tell, it generated the rates, again, the cheapest and fastest option through USPS based on my defaults. You also have the ability to add the additional services for both of those. So I am going to recreate return labels, and I just am going to let the carrier know that I want to have a signature confirmation. Save. And as we can see that it's generating the rates to see if those additional services changed anything. It did change the price a little bit. But if all looks good, we can go ahead and click purchase two labels. And now we have the ability to click on purchase labels and actually purchase them because we've edited and added all the information we need in.
Really quick, just to hop in again, one of the questions that we get frequently is if international orders can be included in the batch. Alex is about to go over international orders for you a bit in detail, but I just wanted to let everyone know that yes, they can be included in the batch. When they are included in the batch, all of the customs information will default to the defaults that we'll discuss in just a bit. You'll just want to make sure that you have item information listed for those international orders so that you don't have any trouble purchasing in the batch.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. So speaking of international orders, I'm going to throw it back to Stephanie to intro our international label creation.
Perfect. Thank you. And appreciate the tip there, Amanda. All right. So international. So Alex, in case you're not done sending me coffee mugs, if you want to show us a little bit about what that international shipment process is going to look like.
Sure. Let me share my screen again. All right. So we're back here on my orders page. So for international orders, it is pretty much the same process for creating the label. You still need to have the correct package info to get the rates that you need. You need to have your recipient address. You need to have the sender address. The only main difference is the items. So for regular order or for domestic orders, you don't have to put the items in. It's a style preference of how you want your packing slip to read and all of that, but you don't have to have it in. However, for an international order, you do need to have the items listed to be able to get them through customs. So we are just going to create a manual label. It's going to come from me, same address, same everything. It's going to go to Stephanie again, but this time it's going to go to Stephanie, who is in Germany right now. So we have our German address all ready to go. We have the different required fields filled out. Those are noted with the stars. So everything looks good to me here. Save and continue. Going to take me to my orders page. And this is where we would need to put in all of that information to get our customs declaration set up. So first and foremost, I'm going to add the items that we need. I'm going to send a mug. Again, it's only one. $10. It's coming from the United States. And then here is where you have the option to put your SKU number in, your tariff number, or the ECCN or EAR 99. Amanda, do you want to talk a little bit more on those?
Yeah, for sure. The ECCN is a new field that we've just added recently. That is a new section that's required when shipping from the US to China, Russia, and Venezuela. And it is just a general requirement code. If you are shipping there and you have one of those numbers, you will know it. So if you don't have one, it's not something that you need to go searching for. There is also another new customs field, which we can show you in the show all details section. Yeah. When it drops down, right. There we go. So the B13A option that is listed right there, that is brand new, and that is a field that is a reporting code that's required for high value exports that are going from Canada to other countries from the US. That is another field that if you have that and you need it, you will know what it is. If you don't, it's not something that you need to search for. The other defaults that I wanted to hit on as well. So Shippo automatically defaults our type of content to merchandise. If you want to classify your shipment as anything else, you can click on that and select from one of those options that are listed there. How you or your customer pays the duties and taxes is this next drop down. We automatically default to delivery duties unpaid. That's what DDU stands for. So that means that you are shipping your package to your customer, and your customer will be responsible for the customs duties and fees. If you change that to DDP, that means that you will be billed for those fees for your customer. Just a quick little side note there, that is not available for USPS. So that would only be available if you are shipping via DHL Express through Shippo or one of your personal carrier accounts. The non-delivery handling drop down, we automatically set that to return. If you do not want a package returned to you, if your recipient is not able to accept it, you can change that to abandon, meaning that customs in that country will discard of your package. Everything else that is listed there are all optional fields for you. If you want to put anything in those other fields for reporting purposes, you absolutely can.
And then one other thing, Amanda, that I wanted you just to chat on is the opt out of customs button that we have right here. Why would somebody want to opt out of customs, and why should they not opt out of customs?
Yeah, for sure. So we never want to opt out of customs unless we know we absolutely don't need one. If you opt out of a customs form and it is needed, it's going to cause a delay with your shipping. So we need customs to pass our shipments through other countries. That way they know what we're importing into their country. Places that you can opt out of customs, for example, are intra-EU shipments. If you are shipping from one country in the EU to another one, customs forms are not required there, so you can opt out then, or for US territories. That said, we always make it known to the senders that it's your responsibility to know when to opt out and leave the customs form in. So if you do opt out when one is needed, like we said, it'll cause some package delays. So just make sure that you are using those when you know you need them.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. So as we get back to the label creation, international, after you go through the customs declaration, you have everything set up the way you need it to be and the way you want it to be. It's still the same process. You choose your packaging. I'm going to go with my coffee mug box again because it's a little bit smaller. You have your shipment option add-ons. I am going to add a signature confirmation because it's going to Germany. So I just want to make sure that Stephanie gets it. So we can press save on both of these. And then as you can see, the rates are regenerating to see if there's anything different. So we can click, I'll do the UPS expedited one because that is my cheapest option. And you either have the option to buy it or you can hold off and wait until later. But as you can tell, everything is all set up and ready to go. You can see the little German flag, so we know that this is an international order. I think that is everything for international label creation. So let's get into split orders. So back to you, Steph.
Perfect. Just one other thing for international, just for the address, make sure that you're adding a phone number in there. If there's a package that gets held up on customs, they use the phone number to get in contact of the recipient or sometimes even the sender. Just make sure you have all the contact information up to date. Usually the phone number is not required, but we do recommend it for those situations.
And really quick, if I can hop back in super fast, something else I forgot to mention was the ability to remove customs items or delete them completely. So if we want to show that again, or if not, there was a delete all items button there underneath the items on the customs form. If you, for example, need to consolidate all of your items, maybe you're shipping a bunch of the same thing, but it imported where they're all listed out. We know we have some customers who need to consolidate things. So you can add and remove customs, or you can add and remove items to your customs form. That's another option that's there for you.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. All right, so let's jump into split orders. So Shippo recently added a new split order functionality to its new UI. So order splitting is now available for all merchants who are connected to Shippo through Amazon, BigCommerce, Channel Advisor, Magento 2, and Shopify. Don't worry, we're constantly working on adding it for other store platforms. So please let us know if there's one that you're interested in having it on. We're definitely working hard to get that added. So splitting an order. So when you're splitting an order, it's important to remember, and Alex will go through this, just kind of basic math skills. We're kind of bringing it back to elementary school, like 1 + 1 = 2, or 3 - 1 = 2. And so Alex is going to show us that. Alex, do you want to take it away?
I do. Split orders is quite possibly one of my favorite new features of the new UI. I think with the holiday season coming up, it'll make it so much better. So in order to split orders, it's like Stephanie said, basic math. We just have to decide how many, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, however you want to do it. So we'll find an order here. We've got a test order that has 3 items in it. You will not have the option to split the orders if there's not more than 1 item in there. Our system is smart enough to let us know about that. So we will go down here to order 5824. We see under items here that it has 3 of them. So in order to split that, we'll just click here on the right side where you have the buy option, and you can see explore rates, download packing slip, hide order, and then finally down here is split order. So I'm going to click on split order. And this is where the math comes in. So right now we see that shipment 1 has all 3 of our t-shirts, but I'm just going to do 3 separate orders. So we've got 3 separate orders. So we'll click and add another shipment. So we've got 2 and 1, but I'm actually going to get rid of this one. And here it's nice, our system will tell you that your math is wrong if you try to get out of it. So now we have all 3 shipments, each having 1 t-shirt in each box. So press save. And now you can see that it offers all the same possibilities for adding package sizes and generating rates, just as it did for our other order creations. So we can see here, I'm going to do a coffee mug box, and we'll see that it's going to get the rates. So that one is already set up, and I'm going to use that one because that looks like one of the cheapest options, and it'll still get to Stephanie or whoever Jonathan is just as quick. And then to go one step further, we've already touched on batch labeling. So we can actually batch label our multiple shipments. So for these ones, I'm going to edit both of these orders, shipment 2 of 3 and shipment 3 of 3. Edit packages, and I am going to default both of them to the square box. And we can see that the labels or the label prices are generating. It's got us again with USPS, and we can go through. Those all look good to me. So you can buy these 2 together, or we can go back to our first shipment and we'll just buy everything together. And since we have the option here, we know we're not missing any information, and we have the option to ship all 3 or to purchase all 3 labels. So and now let's pretend that we've decided we actually don't want to send 3 different orders. They're all going to the same address. Why waste packaging? So let's split these orders. So we can click on here and go view order. We'll go back, click on here, buy, which is where you would have the option to explore the rates, download packing split, or ship, slip, or split order, tongue twister. So here we go back into the split order section, which is the basic math section. I'm going to take my shirt out of shipment 2, my shirt out of shipment 3, and add all of them back to shipment 1. Press save. And you can see that everything returns to normal. The only thing you'll have to do is re-choose your packaging and your rate. So we're going to definitely need the bigger box for all 3 of these shirts. And let's see what rates get returned to us. So we have our USPS default, but then we also have all the other options we can choose from. All right. Is there anything that we wanted to add for split orders?
No, the only other thing that I would hit on is if you do split an order up into multiple shipments and you ship one of them, you will not be able to push it all back to one order again. So that's where the math, the same, needs to add up. So that's just something, a little caveat to know. If you do ship one of them, they'll need to stay separated.
Perfect. All right. Back to you, Stephanie, for return labels.
Perfect. All right. So Alex, I don't know how you did it and what service method you used, but I got the package already to Germany. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, one of the mugs you sent me, it was broken, and with your return policy, I do need to ship it back. Can you please show me how we can do that?
Absolutely. Let's see. All right. So we are now back to our lovely orders page, and we want to return the coffee mug that I sent you. So there's 3 different ways that we can create a return label by clicking through an order. So the first way that we can do it is right here on the orders page. We have all of our options by clicking on where you purchase the label here on the right. And you can see that there's the option for creating a refund or creating a return label. So I'm going to click on return label. And this is where you can put in all of the information. It'll be the same. I am not going to buy any additional insurance. Go to shipping rates. So now we're currently searching. We're going to do USPS. So we can buy that label. And the best thing about this is that you are not charged for the label until it's scanned. So my label's been created successfully. We can open it in the link below, but you will not be charged for the label until it's scanned. So you don't have to worry about that. You can create as many return labels as you want without having to worry about getting refunds or anything like that. So that's if you want to create a return label at a different time. So we can go back. Here we are in our orders page again. So first way to create a return label is just at a later date, you decide you want to create return label, or we can create the return label when we are creating that label manually. So we'll create our label again because we haven't purchased anything. It's going to go to Stephanie. Get all of our information in there. We'll use our square box. Since it's just going to San Francisco, I don't need to add an item. And then the way that you would create a return label at the same time is simply by scrolling down to the shipping option add-ons and just clicking right here, create a return label. We're going to save that. And then we are just going to double check our boxes. Package weight is 1 pound. And we can see that the rates are generating. And we have the process fully completed. Again, you can choose which one you want. And that return label was created, is going to be created exactly at the same time when you purchase your label. So let's just purchase this one, cheapest, purchase one label. And you can see here that the return is going through, return ×1 and charged when scanned. So now you have the ability to download all of those. The next way that you can create a return label, and we touched on this at the beginning when we were getting our account set up, is through the settings. So we go over here to settings on the left side, down to labels. And then right here at the bottom is where you have the auto create return labels for outbound shipments. So if we click that on, what that means is that every time you create a label, you will automatically have the return label created as well. And so when you go to download it, all of both outbound and return labels will be generated at the same time, and you can download both of them at the same time. Go back to orders. And if we want to just look here, we can look and see their labels that we have. All right. So back to Stephanie.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex. I'm very sorry I had to return the mug.
I will forgive you.
Thank you. Or you'll probably end up sending them to Amanda instead of me.
Yeah, someone who might be a little more grateful.
Not broken.
Fair.
Fair.
All right. So, okay, home stretch, everyone. So next we have automations, and this is my favorite of all the new features that we've done, and just all the features in general. And so with automations, it's used to make shipping even easier. So with automations, you can set up rules based on your most used packaging or most shipped products to automatically choose the packaging and service level as soon as that order is pushed over from your connected store. Alex, do you want to show us how that's done?
All right. So like Stephanie said, this is also one of my favorite new features of the new UI is the automations button. So in order to get that set up, we're going to go back into our settings over here on the left side. We're going to go all the way to the bottom here to automations. And this is where you'll create your new rules. So creating a new rule. The condition is going to be a order property, which can be an order weight or a product name. This will come directly from if you're importing from Shopify or a different e-commerce store, your CSV, or just creating manual orders. So I'm going to do mine by order weight because I send a lot of 1 pound packages. So that's just going to be easiest for me. So I have it set to order weight is equal to 1 pound. And I'm going to apply the following action, which is going to be the package size. We have rate coming soon, but right now we have package, and I'm going to have it automatically set to my coffee mug box package template that I set up earlier under settings. I'm going to name my rule just the coffee mug rule, keep it easy. And then you can also add in a description. If you have multiple people working on these automation rules, it can be helpful to put that into the description to let you know who was the last person who updated it. So I'm going to say updated by Alex. Save. And then you can see here that you have an edit, a delete button, and then you can also see when it was last modified. So after you have your rule set up, if you're happy with it, what we can go ahead and do is press process all existing orders. So to show you what it looks like before we click that button, we'll go back to our orders page. And we can see here that we have these 2 new orders that I created manually. I've got my coffee mug in there and I have it noted under items that it only weighs 1 pound, which is exactly how it was set up on the order automation page. And right now it's in the square box and we already have our USPS rates picked, but we don't want to ship in the square box anymore. So back to settings, automations, process all existing orders. And while that is processing, I just want to highlight the rearrange button. So basically, you can have multiple rules set up at one time, but they are going to apply the way that they are inputted into the system. So by rearranging it, you can show which ones you want to have applied first and which rules you want to have applied after everything else is done. So now that all of our orders have processed, we'll go back to our orders page. And we can see that these 2 manual orders that were before in the square box have now been updated to our coffee mug box with our 1 pound packaging. And then we have the rates that are all set up for that 1 pound. It's going to be USPS 1 day, which happens to be pretty close to the cheapest. So a pretty good come up there. And then from there, you have the option to buy your labels. You can do them in batch style, or we can do them one by one. I think that covers automations. Is there anything you wanted to add on that, Amanda?
Yeah, just real quick, if you click in one of those orders, you will also be able to see that the automation was applied up at the top.
Yes, good feature, easy to keep everything organized. And then you can also look at the details of that. So let's go back to orders page here. And I think we will go back to Stephanie as we wrap up our demo.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, guys, we made it. Appreciate your patience while we covered everything. So we were able to go through setting the account up, creating an order, creating multiple orders through batch labels, international label creation, split orders, return labels, and last but not least, automations. So we're very happy about all the new changes going on. And so thank you, Alex, for being able to share that with us.
Yeah.
All right. And if anyone has any questions, we have an amazing support team that you are always able to get in contact with us. Easiest way is probably email, and you can email our support team at support@goshippo.com. Amanda leads that team, and so she knows all about it. And Amanda, is there any other way you want the team to get in, or everyone to get in contact with the team?
There are. We also have live support options that start every Monday at 9 Pacific time. So if you want to get us by chat or by phone and you are logged into your Shippo account, you can click the support button that is down on the bottom of your page. Once you click that, you'll see another option that says get in touch. If you click that, and it is 9 a.m. Pacific time, you will see 3 options. So you can either email us, like Stephanie said, but you will also see options for chat or to request a phone callback.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate it. Alex, thank you for walking us through all of it. Amanda, thank you for being our knowledge guru and jumping in to show all the different little tips and tricks. But thank you everyone for watching this and attending. If you need to get in contact with us, our support team's there, and they can also redirect to us if you have any specific questions for us. So thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Stephanie, for being such a great host.
Anytime. Take care.
Bye.